by the 1980s, personal computers had already been in use for several years. Of course, Singapore was right up there with the early adopters. It was all in all a good time to be a geek.
Anita, do you remember DOS?
Disk Operating System. That is a blast from the past.
I'm amazed you recall that.
I do. Why are we talking about it today?
Well, at Show and Tell, there was this elderly gentleman. He lugged in this super huge so-called portable computer.
Yes, absolutely. He was so into it as well.
We're going to see him right now.
Really, Chen? Another gentleman who likes to hoard things as much as you do.
I wouldn't call it hoarding. Really, it's about appreciation of artifacts. It's connoisseurship. It's really thinking of stuff. It's not nostalgia.
At the Treasure Hunt Roadshow, Eric Lowe surprised everyone by turning up with a computer that's about 40 years old.
So, Eric, what made you keep this till now?
Oh, because I'm in the computer trade, and I like to keep things of some value. Yeah.
We just had to go and visit him to see the treasure up close again.
Look at this.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
This is what? Yes. Eric, I can't wait to see how it all opens up and works. Shall we go over and have a look?
Okay, let's bring it over.
Yeah, let's take it to the
I'll help you with this one.
I'll get this one.
Oh, it's heavy.
In the 80s, Eric worked for an American company that produced computer parts for the U.S. So he was one of the first in Singapore to have access to a PC. He reckons a machine like this would have cost something like 3,000 to 4,000 Singapore dollars back then.
This is earlier portable, and this is how you open it.
That's the stand. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
At that time, this computer is more used for word processing and calculations.
So what was the reaction to something like this when it came out?
Well, most of the people are quite fascinated by its size because it's 2 to 3 times smaller than what IBM or K-Pro, they are also producing portable computers at that time.
This is amazing, and it's double disk.
Well, most computers at that time were on diskettes.
Yeah.
And hard disks were not very popular. There are 2 of them here. Okay. Usually the program is put on the first disk.
It's coming back to me now. And this would have been
the data disk on the second drive.
Hit it, Chen.
All right.
I'm amazed at actually the design of this. I think it's actually quite elegant for its time.
Used to make this funny sound like
Yeah.
right?
Back in the 70s and 80s, Eric and his friends formed a society called OSI Computer Users Group. There were about 100 members, niche hobbyists, who built their so-called superboard computers, wrote their own programs and shared them with each other, and played word games like Hangman.
Tell me more about the superboard tool.
Well, this is a board which the hobbyists can meddle with the components in it. We have to connect this to a printer, and at that time, connecting a computer to a printer is not a simple job.
So you could actually change that around and make that happen more efficiently by messing with something in the motherboard.
That's right.
No wonder you call it superboard.
Yes, it is super. We can have an analogy of this being an elephant, and we users are blind men, feeling around with the components and things like that.
What a great analogy. I must say I often felt like an elephant when I was using the computer when I first started using it.
Well, you see, I suppose in the 1980s was really the advent of modern PCs, the personal computer. There's computers a few decades before, 70s, 60s, or 50s, but they had computers in the past.
Big, huge thing that filled rooms.
They were for institutional use. You're launching like missiles or rockets for computing different calculations and things, so very, very, very complicated computations. Whereas personal computers like PC started coming on board in the 80s, and I guess this is one of this early generation when there's PC that's portable in that sense.
We would love to include the collection of computers and these books in our People's Collection at the National Museum. Would you be okay with that?
I don't mind.
Yeah?
Yes.